John's That's right. John's standing in
One interesting thing a wedding planner told me is that this is like a one-night play, and everybody has an assignment, and there's going to be a bride, and he's going to play the role of bride, of course she is, right? And Rich is going to be the groom, and we're all just on display, and we're going to have fun. And if you have any input or any ideas that come to you, share with us, because our main intent is to have people come and feel welcome, and we want to have fun doing it. Where's the shop? And if there's any particular place you want to help with, except for the bride and groom, you're welcome to stand in front of us.
Maybe you can take us through the timetable tomorrow.
That's what I was just going to do.
About
Right.
when everybody's supposed to be in certain places.
Put the times.
Lisa and Rich have to be in the temple by 8:30.
So they just go,
Now, I
swear
don't
to go
know
by themselves?
if that entails, I think that would be best. Okay.
So the six of us at the head table
Yeah.
need to be at the temple at 8:30.
So we're going to leave at 7:30, just to make sure you're not going.
We don't want to be late.
So Rich wants us to get to install the internet.
We'll be taking 2 cars. How's that? 2 cars?
More than 2.
Well, I mean, just the 6 of us will leave to start with. Rich and Lisa will be staying. Maybe I'll take. Yeah. Anyway, 2 cars.
Well, we only bought two. Well, no.
We'll pick you guys up. We'll pick you guys up.
Yeah, we'll be downstairs. Okay.
We're all going on both ways.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay. Let me just stand in for you, or with you. Okay. So 8:30, Lisa, Rich, 8:30 at the temple, right? 7:30. Yeah.
There's going to be 52 ceilings tomorrow, you understand.
52 weddings.
This is the only day that the temple is open over the holidays, and so we're really going to have to keep track of the numbers. And when any of us come that are not perhaps in the ceiling room itself, stick together and remember where we are. And because you can't go into the temple and engage your area without a temple working members and non-members. So we want everybody to enjoy that. We also need to remember.
Okay, then there's certain of you in the group that will need to be at the ceiling, and that's a 10 o'clock ceiling in, we don't know which room. Check when you go to the desk. They'll
What
have
time should they be there?
9:30, okay? 9:30 ceiling participants.
You're not in the record. Well, we'll ask, that'll be the next thing.
Yeah, and we'll be wearing street clothes, okay? No whites this time, except for the bride and groom, no whites.
Temple will be safe.
They won't let us wear whites. With 52 weddings, that's enough.
Are we in the same room when we do the shirt?
I don't think so. No, we'll just wait. We'll just wait.
Okay, so what happens at home, or at the Shiloh and at the Flat House, what happens while the rest of us are going? Amy, are you in charge of your house when the parents are gone?
No, Amy will be there.
Amy's going to be... Okay, so you're coming in the first group? Heather. Okay, Heather and
in
Amelia.
charge of Megan.
What are you going to do?
I'm in charge.
Okay, what are you going to do, Heather?
And do you know what Amelia says? She's sleeping in. What?
Heather, question
I'm
to
getting everyone ready and
That's right. You guys are getting everybody else ready then, and you've got to coordinate and bring the rest up. What time do you want them there?
we put our dresses on there for the new people.
And if it's raining, the velvet can't.
There's no changing room for you there.
So, okay, you have to come for the photograph. What time? Good morning.
My dad.
Okay, so all of the rest of you, Amy Heather,
Amelia.
Amelia, excuse me, Amelia and Heather and Allison and all the rest of you, you guys are there at the temple at 10:30.
Okay, point of clarification. Trevor will be the one that comes at 10:30. When the photo's taken, you'd like to have him in a tux, I meant, right? So then you just have to bring the tux with you to the temple, or sit in the temple, and then change into a tux at the temple. Trevor will come with the tux. So you just have to...
Because as soon as the wedding is over now, we're told that the sealing ordinance will take about a half hour. So if they're sealed at 10, by 10:30 or 10:45, we should be ready to take pictures. All of you who are in the wedding party will have tuxes, etc. and be ready to take pictures.
We'll have 2 different photographers doing pictures. Sister McClellan is going to be doing pictures for a videographer, and a non-member, Tara Gully, is going to be doing
Okay, as soon as we're done, as soon as the wedding party is done, all of us will leave with Rich and Lisa. They're going to stay around, and the photographer is going to take a bunch of pictures of them.
She doesn't want anything.
She doesn't want any family there to mess them up, okay? So moms and dads who stick around and say, you know, smile, stick out your chest, get out of there. We're not going to be there. So the rest of us, about 11 or 11:15, will go to the Lake Oswego Steak Center, which is just a block away, and we'll show you how to get there tomorrow. It's on the same parcel of ground that the temple sits on, but it's a little bit down the road. And then, while the newlyweds are having their pictures taken, we'll be setting up for dinner or for lunch. Jill sponsored lunch, and that will be at...
Are we all changing out of our clothes?
You should then, yeah. As soon as you're done at the temple, you should change. You can probably go to the Lake Oswego Steak Center to change, so bring something. Okay?
This will be just like that now.
How do you feel? Okay. Right. Okay. Come with something to wear which is comfortable. And then what'd you say, Marty? 1 to 3, we call that. Jill, what do we call that?
Wedding breakfast.
Wedding. Looks like a lunch to me.
Okay.
Okay.
It used to be breakfast.
Yeah.
Now, when they're done, when everybody's done here, what happens here? It's possible that the photographer may have to change. If it rains, and there's just a chance that it will rain tomorrow, the photographer may not want us to hang around the temple, in which case they may come back here or they may go to Lake Oswego. But everybody, regardless of any plan, everybody has to be back here by 5 o'clock.
Here is in this chapter.
This chapel right here, ready to go at 5. Dressed at 5, okay?
Please.
And you guys can change here. We got plenty of changing rooms here. So come back here in your grubbies and bring your nice clothes, and you can dress here. We got a dressing room for the guys, and the girls are going to take either the blue siding room or this back. Lisa's room is the back room, okay? And then at 6, from 6 to about, okay, to 9, we have the reception. And Arlene just went through that, so everybody knows there are places for that. Does anybody have a question about where they're going to be? You know where you're going to be, Kristen? You do.
All right. Who's going to decorate? This is going to be done one room.
No, tonight after we clean up, we're going to finish the decoration. Yeah, and then while we're up there, the florist will come in
We're
and
going to
cake.
keep the room fairly simple.
The cake will come, and
The stage is
actually have the Elvis that comes. And then if things slow down a little bit, about 8:30, if there are no more people coming, then we'll probably all sit down, and Lisa and Rich said they wanted to open their presents before they went off on their honeymoon. Is that right? Okay, just in case they got anything they like, so they could take a look or something. So we'll sit down and do that, and then what beyond that, We all spent the night at the local Shiloh Inn with Rich and Lisa. Is that right?
Yeah. Tomorrow night?
We're going to introduce you guys to a new concept. It's an old one. It's called... Ever heard that phrase? Grandpa, tell us about... Didn't you get sugar eaten by Mom's brothers the night of your wedding?
I ain't talking.
As I recall the story, and it may be somewhat fractured at this point, her brothers accompanied them back to the hotel room and stayed up and talked until 2 or 3 at night, right? 4 at night. That's called a chivalry. Yeah. You never heard that? So any of you who want to do that, you're welcome to do it, unless Rich and Lisa can. What do you think, Dan?
Me too.
All right. Yeah, and by the way, we don't have a car space for all of our kids, so Allie's going back to Utah, right?
Perfect. Yeah, that Rich? You're somebody coming along with you on
Just last night. All right. Any other? All right, just one last point that I'll turn time over to Jill if she's got any business. Just remember, guys, this is a time to have fun. It's not all going to go according to plan, so let's just kind of roll with the punches. We don't want to get, stupid funny up on the stand or anything like that. But let's have a good time. Let's be happy and just. I wasn't talking to Jeff. He can be what he wants to do.
I want to say, I'll just mention this person's initials, Dan. No funny things up there. You are Dan. Don't introduce yourself to somebody else. You are Dan.
They changed their names.
Jill, do you have any words you want to go out with these guys?
I need lunch, so everyone who is at the temple or those that are waiting outside the temple, we expect everything to the lunch. So everyone's invited. The princess. So we need to pass the word around, I guess.
Invite everybody to see this. No other waiting.
Any questions about tomorrow? Okay, well, that's the end of the business then. Mom, do you have any other business?
Now, we'll go to the
Okay, good. Then for the special musical number, we have Cousin Callie is going to give us a special musical number. And then for the activity, you have to listen carefully. This is a complex activity. For the activity, we're going to tell we're just going to reflect for a few minutes on Rich and Lisa individually. And I'm not sure this ought to turn into a roast necessarily, but if that's all you can remember, then say it. But this will be a time for the moms and dads and the aunts and uncles and cousins to tell favorite stories and to reflect for a few minutes. You don't have to, you don't have to stand up, but I think certain key individuals should, like your parents anyway, at least these guys. I would say Jeff and Jill. Okay, Callie, you ready to go?
after that was Rich, and he was born about 6 minutes before Dan. And Rich goes to BYU, and then finishing up at Rick's, and we'll also go to BYU next month. And then Heather. Matt is, so Rich is down at 22. Amy, how are you? 24? Yeah. And Matt's on a mission in California. We called him last night from when we drove over, and we ended up, well, let's see, on Friday we drove over from Livingston to Orem, which was not bad, and we spent all day Saturday there, and then we spent this morning and left, and then we made it to Pendleton last night. We all called back last night in California where he's serving his mission. And we noticed a seriousness about him. He's the wacky guy in that family. He's a crazy guy. He seemed very serious when we talked to him last night, albeit a lot of fun. And then Heather's at Rick's, and surprised us all with great grades. You see this person just stood there. And then Trevor. Trevor's a midway through junior year in high school in Littleton. And then Megan, who's in the 6th grade. And so that's our family. So talking about, I didn't miss anybody right? Talking about Rich, I think the best way would be to talk about chronologically. What's the matter?
He lives for these rips.
No, I know. Son, I don't know, Red, this is a very serious moment. Okay, Rich was born in Spokane, and again, we were excited, we already had Amy, and we lived in Spokane, and he was just a little girl, and Jill got pregnant, and she seemed awfully big, and I kind of felt maybe there might be more than one, but the doctor at the time said, no, there's only one baby, but we went, one day, and she felt it was time to go in, and we went in, and the doctor said, it's true, and so that an hour later, Rich came first, followed by Dan. And we lived in Spokane. I watched a few more weeks before that one. And then we moved to Seattle, and then Seattle for 3 years. And then we, other than a couple of years in California, about 10 years ago, the rest of the time we've been in Littleton. Rich, I guess Rich, I remember the time that we went to England, you and me, when we were about 12, and which is my home now. I offered to take any of the kids who would save up to $600. Rich was the only one at the time we did. And went with me to visit my family. I remember we played the part of the ugly American so well. We went with my mother, we went to the north of England where my brother was living at the time, to a place that in England you take great pride in, a place called the Lake District. And Rich said to my mother, leaned over to her, on seeing this beautiful lake laid out forever with beautiful mountains on either side, said, back home we refer to this as a puddle. He was only 12 at the time. He was a smart aleck even then. Rich did the normal things, meaning refused to become an Eagle Scout. I would get him and Matt was an Eagle Scout. Rich and Dad, I said, you guys are going to have to become Eagle Scouts, and I'm going to get you up every Sunday morning at 7 o'clock. To make sure we get through this, but they never did. They fought me tooth and nail. So you guys did win on that.
Wait a minute, you're not Eagle?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. You lied to me.
I say that they're both. I want you to remember both of you. Even if the officer tomorrow, you can still back out either one. So let's play it. And then I guess when Rich was 16 would be the sneering age. He and Dan invested $900 in this beat up piece of Mustang that they restored. But it seemed like during the whole 16 years, whenever you talk about Rich or Dan or talk to them, they just kind of sneer at you rather than smile. It would be, that was a difficult year. Of course, that was the year before your sex change, Rich. Did you know that? Oh, yeah, Rich was the year ago. He was open about that, right? And then he, I'm not going to this would just be too easy, too much ammunition. Then Rich came on a mission here, and I guess a lot of people will know you both and will be very confused about how you met. Yeah. But I guess you were the one who Rich started writing to you again. Rich is very sophisticated. About 3 years ago when we brought in his first real suits, because I guess that family can get a little bit crazy, a little bit wild sometimes. Rich and Dan both have fairly equal, reasonably easygoing when it comes to the subject of cars, and then they're both completely out of control. In fact,
Yeah, they are.
they're absolutely out of control. Selfish when it comes to food drives and cars. They did restore that Mustang a little bit, but those are the biggest arguments we ever had with these guys, was over who could drive, when they could drive, and that sort of thing. But you know, we also had a lot of slug fights in our home. Rich going to get, no. But the thing is, the nature of our fights are so bad that it really is almost full out. I mean, what's the fights, beating you, time, making me cry and saying nothing, that sort of thing.
We had slug fights there too. You hit each other with the slugs, right?
Yeah.
Different slugs.
Yeah. Blanks most of the time. But, so we'll miss you, although you're not moving away, but as I said, you know, when Rich, last time I guess, when Rich told me he was going to get married, I remember sitting on the front lawn and it was warm, and I was encouraging him to wait, not knowing Lisa, and they're saying, gee, you know, Rich, you know, your education, you know, why don't you just wait till next summer, that sort of thing. And Jill was telling me afterwards, you know, you shouldn't do that, I didn't, you know, do it on time. And I kind of felt bad about it until I met you, Lisa, and then I felt that was the right thing to do. So, Rich is definitely marrying up in this situation. So. Anyway, Dan, you got a story?
2 minutes,
You had 10 minutes. Okay, Jeff, go on. Put your feet down, bud, because we don't need to be personal. We're too late there.
I have no class.
So we have no time.
Doesn't have to be, sir, just
Anything. Tell him how much you love it, Fred. Come on. Just tell him how much you love it. Anything, Jeff.
Gambling experience.
Come on, Trev. Lay down, Trev. Tell us.
I made that big old poker table.
Oh, yeah.
And then his friends sat down in his room and got me in the end.
forever thinking of this story.
Okay, the old guy. Come on, we can go to one that you're getting.
But why don't we intersperse it with
Good.
some, yeah, so anybody that wants to can just stand up. Maybe I should introduce the other half, and then anybody who wants to can just chime in. Except you. As I think everyone knows, well, maybe you don't. The lights are new, so I'll introduce everybody. Starting on this end, we have the Wrigley family, or except for the dad, this dad's side of the family. There are 3 big boys also. This is Jim, and that is Arlene's oldest sister. They're the Vale girls. And there's one of those missing today, but there are 4 Vale girls and 1 Vale brother in that family. And Bob isn't with us yet, sitting there today, and probably won't be in. Is Diane coming? Not Diane, and Dean will be here tomorrow. Anyway, Jim married the oldest sister, Annette, and their oldest daughter is Krissa, who is a last year doctoral candidate at Utah State University in Logan. In what? Economics? Sociology. And then their oldest son, Callie was next. Callie is recently returned from a mission to Brazil. Campos? Which one? And she's looking to enroll at Brigham Young next semester, next year. No, summertime. She's got 3 years under her belt at Boise State, and she'll be majoring in Spanish at BYU. And the oldest son, Joe, I have to divert for a minute to tell you a little story. When Annette and Arlene and Shauna, well, they were all pregnant at the same time. Annette had the 2 girls. Shauna and Arlene had just married, and they were in a race for the oldest grandson. That was an important race. I would tell the story if it weren't for the fact that Bri came out first, and so we and shortly behind Bri was their oldest son, Joe, and bringing up the rear was Stephanie, and she was the best looking of the bunch. So So Joe is next, and Joe just returned from a mission to Costa Rica. And then they have two more sons who between them average 6'6", 240. I would guess. Am I close?
And they're Rick's
And they're both Ricks. No, one is a Ricks and the other is a junior high school. Yeah, one's a high school.
She was Rick.
Mac is finishing up his second year at Ricks, and DJ is a junior in high school, 6'5.5", 265. Plays small forward. Denver will be looking at it. Then so that's the Wrigley family. Then Bob is the oldest, the only son in the Vale family, and Bob is feeling well these days. He's at home in Wenatchee. We won't have him with us in this happy time, but I'm sure his thoughts are with us. Then the second daughter is Arlene, and you know her family. Brian is the oldest. Lisa is the oldest daughter of 5, and then Amelia, and then Allison, and Sarah, the redhead, and then Gordon. Gordon, the redhead, Gordon, the librarian, and then what's your name, Sean? Then the next daughter in the Vale family was Shauna. You can see where some of these names are coming from. Shauna married Gordon, so we have a Shauna and a Gordon.
And our family has no very limited music.
Your music is very good. Lisa graduated first as the most outstanding young woman at her grade school level. She was the girl of the year and the young man of the year. And we could see that she had gone through kindergarten through, I think it was about 5th grade in the LRC, Learning Resource Program, because of her learning disability. And she was not held back. She learned at a very young age that she could overcome and work really hard and overcome anything academically. And when she graduated from middle school, she was given the Presidential Award, most outstanding scholastic grade. And she was in all advanced classes in high school and graduated in the National Honor Society.
And she got princess.
And in her sophomore year, junior year, she was homecoming princess with Amelia, who was freshman.
That's the debt that Dad's still paying on.
It was well worth it to buy those formals.
I'm a firm believer that every person in life has gifts, and we know that through the scriptures. We have strengths and weaknesses and things to overcome, and this has been living an example of things that she's overcome at a real early age. She has, like all of us, more things to overcome. But tonight we're honoring her. Her gifts, I think, is that she's a very patient person. She that's good. I guess I almost forget. I love her, and I will miss her a lot, as I love all of my children. I think as a mother, you bring these beautiful little babies into the world. They're so sweet and innocent. You watch them grow, and you watch them make choices, and you watch them change. And you can't always dictate or control the choices that they make. And as you've sacrificed bearing them and carrying them and raising them, there are times in your life that you gave for them through choices that they made. Not because it's a reflection on you necessarily, but because you don't want them to hurt. You don't want them to go through unnecessary anguish and pain. And maybe sometimes we suffer more than they do. Because we've been on the earth longer, we can see the consequences of some of those choices. I'm really happy for Lisa. She has not been a difficult child. She's not shown rebellion at all. She's in her own sweet, quiet way, just as she was when she was little. It's always tried to do what's right. And as a mother, I wanted to think I really appreciate that. As much as I love my children, when they have struggled, I love all of them. And when they do struggle, I want them to know that I love them too. I want her to know that she can always come to me. I have a really close friend whose daughter just got married a few months ago, and she said, I don't want to hear about the fights. If it's life-threatening, you can come to me, but don't tell me about the little things. And I think the best bit of advice I can give this young couple as they get married is to love each other, to communicate, to share the good times and the sad times and the spirituality together, say your prayers together, to attend the temple. Just do your best. My mother really encouraged us in our family to just do your best. And I think if I asked Kelly to sing that song because that was one of Grandpa Bill's favorite songs, Sunrise Sunset. And I have really felt the influence of my parents. Both of my parents are deceased. And I know how much my father and my mother sacrificed. And how happy he was at this time. Not because you've made it, but because you're doing your best.
Well, not in a minute, but roll those things together, and I think you could also watch the Broncos together. That would also make Rich really happy. Well, I'm just giving you a bit of advice. I'm sure we'll talk about in a minute, but it seems to me that you guys get along well. You have a nice relationship, and we see that's a nice spirit about you. I think once you find out more and more of Richie's habits, I'm sure that you know it's something quite disgusting. But the family will become quite disgusting. Actually, we start to like him a little. Rich is pretty easy guy. The lady used the car is always Daddy, what?
Well, let's see. I guess to see my twin brother, I probably had a lot of things, a lot of experiences and stories. I guess none in particular stand out as some I share. We've always been real competitive, especially in high school and stuff, competitive with all kinds of things. And our friends and the things we had in sports and stuff. And we usually ended up being pretty even, like in all kinds of sports. Just on some, I'll be a better basketball player. He used to have me skiing until I got my new skis, and now we're about tied on skiing. He's got me on that one. He's got more patience than me on the golf course. Let's see what else.
What?
Gymnastics. We're both in gymnastics in high school. And I always had him in gymnastics because he started a little later. And put a little sooner. Let's see, the funnest time we had together, well, we were both left on missions on the same day we left. And I went to Tennessee, well, he'd come up here, and, what?
Like you times, that's all I talk in Tennessee.
But, right then I think is when we started to become better friends, because we both could relate real well, because we were both on the missions. And so we wrote fairly often, we would talk to each other on the phone a few times. And that was cool because we got to, I don't know, we got to be best friends then. And last semester, last spring, I guess, we lived together because we had fun then too. Went down every so often to see Lisa down in Provo. I don't know what I did, I would see somebody else. We're still enough, 4 times in a row. But he also had to go down and see Lisa down there. Of course, he also had his girlfriend up at Rick's at the same time. Well, let's see. That ended right after the summer. So it started. So there's no more now, I guess. But now I guess it's my I don't know if it's my honor or what. I get to live with them now down in Orem and down there. I don't know. It sounds like a great experience. I hopefully won't have to be around that much. Just let them live their way. Lovely experience. I'll see more of them and probably get a unique perspective on married life since I'm still single with both of them.
Okay, Amy,
Grandpa wants to say that.
While I'm walking down there, I want you all to study on what I'm going to do. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to embarrass you all.
Okay. Now we're talking about you.
I'm going to apologize to that beautiful singer down there because I'm going to. I won't be near as good as you. I want you to be the prompter for this girl. I want you to be the prompter for this boy. You'll be able to prompt when you hear what I say. And be sure you prompt.
Okay.
Oh, a little boy and a little girl in an ecstasy of bliss, said the little boy to the little girl, pray give me just one kiss. Oh, the girl drew back in great surprise. You're a stranger, sir, said she, but I will give you one kiss in the garden when apples grow on the lilac tree. Oh, the little boy was dejected, for she was the only one. But the little girl was remorseful for the very wrong she done. So bright and early on the very next morn, he was quite surprised to see the little sweetheart standing in the garden, getting apples on the lilac.
I remember when we lived across from the wheat field, and we spent all day shucking this wheat into this little cup. We probably had half a cup.
We picked them up one by one.
Oh, wheat stock. We put it in there, we had this little cup. And we were so proud of this cup. And he took it and he put it up. I can't remember where it was. It was upstairs. It wasn't in the bathroom. It was in the bedroom. I
Let's
remember.
remember our ages here, though.
Yes, we were young. 4. No, probably 6. But he fell asleep downstairs. I was still awake. I remember he got up. He kept saying, Rich, Rich. He went answer me. He went upstairs and went to this little cupboard in the bathroom. And he and our meat that we spent all day.
Getting worse.
Oh, I don't know anything specific. I don't know, Rich has always treated me like a big brother. And
do you want a big brother?
as a big brother should.
Okay, we'll save you from that. That's okay. Okay, we'll Megan is, again, which is other sister, I know they're a lot of times together. And again, guys, it's not like he's dying. He's just getting married. And so, okay, what are you saying?
You know, you girls can stand me up.
That's what this is all about, express their feelings.
Well, Lisa probably feels very strange because, you know, I've heard about Lisa all summer long. And when I met Lisa for the first time, she will tell you, I saw her and Richard walking towards me. And just started saying, oh, nice. I think I told Richard, I said she's pretty, but I said, she's really pretty. And they just look so perfect together to me. But I just took on and it took me halfway through it to get myself better. Rich and, of course, his brother, kind of growing up together. All the stories I have were really twin stories because, you know, they were each other's best friends, which is great for someone to always have a best friend. Even when they didn't like each other, they were still their best friends. And I remember the time they were about 3 years old, and I had gone in the house to answer the telephone and been working in the garden. And I put the tomato dish, put in the tomato with his buds, and put it up on top of the electric meter, which is about this high here, so that there wouldn't be any problems. So I went to answer the phone, and I'm talking on the telephone, and you know, we talk about this, and I think every mother has this gift, whether you deserve it or not. When your kids are in trouble, you know, somebody lets you know, and I just said to my friend, I know I hung the phone right downstairs, and of course, they push the picnic bench to the wall and put the picnic table bench on top of the table and climbed on top of that to get the potato dust because that just looked too tempting and began to dust each other with potato dust, which is the kind of poison that goes through your skin. So it was quite a day with my neighbor helping me wash them and call poison control and everything. Everybody was fine. But, you know, we did the same thing with the flour in the storage room. Both came up head to toe covered with flour. You know, all the things that I guess every set of twins, when you got some of the same age. I used to have a cookbook, you know, the old, what's it? Checker cookbook. Yeah, Betty Crocker.
It's better.
Yeah. And when I left it on my stove one time, and Dan, I used to have a stove with the knobs on the front, and Dan turned on the stove and burned, you know, the pattern of the rays on it. That was supposed to be. Well, the thing that was interesting to me was, within a few months, it was left on the other side of the cookbook, and Rich turned on the stove, and I had a cookbook with matched rings on either side of the cookbook, and that was pretty phenomenal to me. And actually, that was quite a keepsake cookbook, and it got lost in the move, unfortunately. But as Richard was going through high school, we started to think that he was the accident-prone child because he broke everything. Well, of course, we were away on a trip, and we got a phone call that Richard had been at scout camp, and we weren't home, so we had to call somebody else to get Richard down because he cut his hand wide open and the stitches were hard. He broke his collarbone and he broke his toe. He broke his toe so many times. And one time he broke his toe, and it's $25,000 later, his toe was fixed. He got an infection in the bone and had to go to the hospital. And I said to the doctor at the end, I told you her, she just didn't cut it off. But they figured it was important. It was a big toe. But I thought, then after his mission, I thought I should tell you. He said, well, actually, as he quit breaking himself, he started to break things around the house, right? He broke my rifle, and he burned a hole in the countertop, and then what then he spilled bleach all over the sweatshirt.
You broke that poor cow really pretty well, didn't you?
He must have
And then he was so angry after he bleached that he ruined the shirt that he got bleach all over the carpet.
I bleached the brand new carpet. It had been that long. Anyway, so that was my warning that I was going to be listening, but he doesn't break himself anymore, he breaks things. But Rich is the kind of boy, young man, that any mother would be proud to have. As a son, I used to, and last summer, I get a lawnmower going and wondered, I need somebody to mow the lawn. I go out and Richard mowed the front lawn again. Why do you do that? He says, it just looks good. And he came home after school this last spring and decided he wanted to start his own business. So kind of as a practice, he painted our whole, we've got a big outside of the house because it's a walkout, so it's like 3 stories on the back. And he painted our whole house, and then he said, well, it looked really great if we painted the decks, and just kept going until the whole place looked really great. And he's matured so much since the time that he went on his mission, and from before, that he's just been a joy to have around the home. Rich is the kind of young man that is so enthusiastic about everything and so excitable that it's, you know, it rubs off on everybody else, and it's hard when he's not around because he really is that enthusiasm. This last this last spring when Rich came home from school, I kept saying, Rich, why do you keep going down to BYU? You know, every other weekend you were going down from Rick's down to BYU. And I thought, you put a little miles on your car, why are you doing that? And he explained to me that he said that was, you know, nothing more was said. And then when he came home in the spring, he started telling me more and more about this. And then it was, she'd make a great mom. She's so good with kids, and she's just, and then it was, she's so smart, and she's so dedicated, and she works so hard at school. And by the middle of the summer, basically he said to me, Mom, she's just perfect. She is just perfect. And I had anything with that. Probably meant that this was going to be a permanent type of admiration and love on Rich's part. And we're just thrilled to death. As much as you like to keep your kids at home forever, we are really pleased with Richard, with the step that he's taking, and we're just really happy. I'm happy for Lucy, because it's kind of what Jeff loves to turn a mission farewell into a rose, and that's what he's doing here tonight. But that's her. Right. But I'm sure that some of the other kids have some stories to tell about Rich.
I want to talk about this.
I just have a great deal of respect for this, and I love her a lot. Never done this before. Never got married before. I remember last semester when we were coming down, Lisa was, as you know, she's a little shy, and not necessarily shy, just can be quiet. And I'd come down, and it was real hard to tell when we were dating, you know, what she was thinking and everything. But I always got pretty good signals, so I liked it a lot. So I kept coming down for drinks, and after we got engaged, Lisa tells me that when I was coming down, she'd be telling herself not to go out with me or not to like me and to try to avoid me. She thought I was using her or something, come down to get a weekend date and go back up to her ex. But I really was, I was dying to be with her. And I actually I've been up on my mission for about a year and 3 months, and we did it a couple times just before I went to Rick's in January after my mission, and I remember thinking about Lisa then and just thinking and thinking about marriage and what it would be like to marry her. And I'm so happy this point has come that we are engaged and we are getting married tomorrow. She's special, and I'm grateful for her. I love her. And I feel so, like my dad said, that I'm marrying up, because I really am. I don't deserve her. I mean, she's so just loving and sweet as all you who know her know that. And I'm really grateful that she's willing to be with me.
John's gone.
I went up this road, right? I was just out on my mission. I don't know, about maybe 6 or 7 months, and my mom always wrote me about the missionary. She's kind of mission involved as far as the missionary work goes. And she was writing about this great elder from Colorado who was finishing up his mission, which I was talking to him and stuff. And I remember, probably because he's from Colorado, and he's from 3 places today, so I remember the name. And later on, she writes and telling me that the celebrated the name, Lisa the Y. And Lisa wasn't just kind of, she was kind of rolling her eyes. And so I was thinking, all right, well, this is it. I'm not trying to line up with all my expertise. And which I'm glad to do. And then so I started hearing that it was being serious, I was finished my mission. So within, a month after I got back from my mission in India, so I heard about Rich long before I ever met him. And in fact, we were almost engaged before I met him. But I really, as anybody I suppose would have, just kind of thinking a lot about the companion of my little sister. I was kind of skeptical. I wanted to check out this and make sure he was worthy. But I really want to say that I like Coach. I'm in charge of the platform reunions when saying something. Just kidding. But I really wish him the best of luck. I know that we can do it for him a lot. Especially in Colorado. And I really wish him the best of luck. And Lisa, we go way back. Most of the scars on my head, Lisa was around for Lisa.
And your butt.
We'll find my phone. That's not true. What was her idea? It was her idea, to put the bag on my head and play the game where I jump around the back of the head of mom's bed and she started pushing me on. right before I hit the TV set and or whether it was chasing him to the church before I tripped on the chairs and fell down or I was at Grandpa Platt's house chasing Lisa and I hit the fireplace and got some. She was always a part of, every stitching, every visit to the hospital, every cleaning. Fishing with the fence, this was right there beside before I fell on the nail my stitches. We grew up really close. I mean, Amelia, me, and Lisa, we kind of grew up in our kind of a mini grouping of brothers and sisters. We love the rest of them too. We're all sisters. But we just kind of...
Brian turned 3 when Billy was born. I don't advise that for anybody. Had 3 children.
So we grew up pretty close. And
It's that
Lisa,
Utah thing.
we moved to here to Newburgh when we were pretty young, so like 4.5, 5 years old. 5. But we had this big house, and it was half unfinished, and so we were always getting in trouble with it, tearing sheetrock off the wall. We had this fiberglass rods, and we played this little game of shooting the marbles on the concrete floor, and we kind of shooting around. So we had a great time. Me and Lisa, we really grew up close. I just want to say that I'm really happy she's getting married. It's kind of hard, you know. I wouldn't say that I'm closer to her, but we've got a lot of experience in together. I guess we're probably the closest in my career. I still love her. But I just wish them the best of luck in their marriage. And to watch out. You know, make sure you don't start chasing her around, don't play any of the dumb games. But I wish her the best of luck. And I know that Lisa Lighton, Rich Lighton, will have a great life for the family reunions and such.
This is the patriarch of the Vale family here.
Well, I'm more than Rich, cell-style uncle and help. It's a role that I enjoy most in the family. And someday when we're all together, I'll tell you some of the exploits. But the Vale sisters are around, you can't discuss her. But I think if I were to have some advice coming from all of us in the family, Lisa and Rich, you need to never use the word in-laws.